don't like this setup. That's very awkward. Hi, guys. Hang on, I'm coming. Okay. Hi. All right. Let's see how we're doing tonight. Hi. All right. There is a lot of people. Lazy Dragon, Lisa, Steven, Jamila, Bebow. Hi, Pat. I'm glad it's on later. Now you get to be here from the beginning. Alyssa, hello. Selkie, hi, Dawn. Alyssa said hello twice. Hebney. Oh. Hi, Leland. Justin, hi, honey. I'm glad you decided to come back. I am. May I ask you a question? Sure, you can ask me a question. Hi, Shauna. Oh, shit. Shauna, all day. I was supposed to get you information, and I didn't. And I just, as soon as I saw you, it went bing. I promise. I'm back at Jordan tomorrow, which means usually it's kind of a, I shouldn't say the S word, but it's kind of a down day. So I'll do it tomorrow. Damn it. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Denise. Hey, how are ya? Glad to see ya. Missed you too. Hi, Lene. And Willow Hawk, hello. And Wayne, hello. I don't recognize you, so welcome. And Anne, hi. Hexen is here. Julie, Denise, Jamila. No problem. Of course. And Lee, hi. Lee's here. And Owl's Perch, hello. Okay, so this is round 2 of our new format for tarot study. So we'll see how we do tonight. Hi, Donna. Did somebody have a question? Who was it that had a question? You're welcome to ask the question. In fact, it's better if you ask now. Hi, Sam. How are you? Angie, hello. So we picked the card last week that we're doing tonight is the Eight of Swords. And I have to say, it's a tough card for me. And it's a tough card to study for a week. Look at it. It looks like it's stabbing me. I hate that. It's a tough card to study for the whole week. So I've been studying the card and typing out stuff that other people say about the card. It's a hard card emotionally to sit in for a week, that energy. Because when I study the card, I try to imagine what circumstances I'm in when I have felt like, oh yes, this card. And so it's a very, even though the suit of swords is about thinking, this card in particular brings up a lot of emotions for a lot of people. It's a hard card to sit in this energy. So this should be an interesting study. I pulled out some cards that are I tried to pull out cards that were different than the same old card that you see, because you'll see when we pull out the Rider-Waite, when we start with the Rider-Waite card, most cards out there, most decks out there have some kind of version of that. And so I tried to pull some cards out that just seemed a little bit different so that we could really look at them. It's a hard card to path work. Yeah, it really is. For sure, it really is. Hi, Courtney. How are ya? Glad to see you again. Hi, Julie. Good. We have lots of people on there. Hi, Dana. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so let's get started because we have to start so late because of my stupid job. which I have to say, as I'm sitting in my evening shift that I hate and I'm really annoyed that I have to do all the time now, this card like really kept coming up and saying to me, you have allowed yourself to be in this position, so either deal with it or shut up and deal with it. Hi, honey. How are you? Okay. So let's start by taking a look at the Rider-Waite card. Very recognizable image. The 8 swords are kind of surrounding this woman. She has binds around her, but they are pretty loose, right? They're not really tightly bound. Nailed a first interview for dog Reiki and rehab place. Ooh. Hell yeah. Good luck. I will send good juju. What an interesting place to work. That would be. Hi, Cypress. So her bounds are around her, but kind of loosely tied. They are not really tightly bound. And then she also has a blindfold on. But the blindfold, really, all she'd have to do is wriggle out of those. Hey, Boop, what are you doing? Are you into something? All she'd really have to do is wriggle out of those ties. What are you into? And take off the blindfold herself, right? So that's a very important point of this card, is that these binds are not really tightly bound. Seems like there's no way out of them at first, but if you wanted to, you could get out. Hi, Emerald Moon. So let's start with The Ultimate Guide to the Tarot by Liz Dean. We're going to start by reading about the card in general. This gives always a good overview of the Rider-Waite-Smith card. So in my Night Sun Tarot, the girl covers her eyes with her own hand. Yep, and a lot of them will see that. So it's not, a blindfold that you can't get off for sure. And sometimes it's really us, It reminds me of the Ten of Wands. Some cards have their hands right in front of their face too, and that's very similar. Boop! Whatever you're playing with, stop. You're going to drive Mama Squirrel nuts because squirrel. What are you playing with? Yes, would you please take away whatever the hell he's playing with? Wow. Oh, now he's mad. Sorry, Boop. I just want to go to Mama Squirrel College and get my diploma. Well, that won't be very hard. We blind ourselves with ignorance at times, for sure. And sometimes we just turn our head. We don't want to see the facts of what's going on, right? Boop. All right. So the element here is air because it's a swords card. Astrological association is Jupiter and Gemini. Number 8, the key meaning is restriction. The 8 of Swords shows a fairy tale gone bad. A maiden is outcast from a castle, so we see the castle in the background there. And her hands are bound. She stands alone within a semicircle of planted swords with her back turned to her home. A hostage. She is a symbol of otherness, separated from the castle, which stands for civilization and inclusion. So she's an outcast here, right? Her red robes symbolize energy, but she is tied, so her movements are restricted. The rock pools look pretty and innocuous. So down here, the pools and the rocks. But if she cannot shift her position soon, she may be in danger when the water rises with the high tide. Her eyes are blindfolded, symbolizing an inability to see a way ahead. A blindfolded woman also features on the Two of Swords, the stalemate card. So perhaps the hostage of the Eight of Swords was once the two, but now her bonds are tighter and her situation more precarious. Thankfully, this bondage will not last. A.E. Waite, the Rider-Waite's tarot creator, says, it is rather a card of temporary durance than of irretrievable bondage. At some point, our maiden will muster the determination to save herself. No prince on a white charger will come. No prince will come. This time, this is up to us. If we are the querent in the card, hi Karen, this is up to us to get out of, right? So, that's the initial, what we see in the card here. Now, don't forget, guys, I'm going to tell you a couple times, if you have specific questions for me, make sure you put them in caps. I'm going to try to make sure I see everything, but, you know, I may miss some, okay? Let's read some more. This is, actually, before I go to this, I usually go to the Holistic Tarot after that. Because Benabelle's tome here is amazing, as usual. And she's got so many little tidbits of information in here that I just love reading from what she says. Hi, Cassandra. Yes, please do click that like button, guys. It'll get this video seen a little bit more. The more likes that we have, the more YouTube kind of puts it out there, you know, on the you may like this if you like this kind of thing. So please do click that like button for me. Okay, so again, imprisonment, confinement, captivity, constraints. A woman is in red is bound and blindfolded. She is surrounded by 8 swords staked into the ground, and she seems to be imprisoned or confined by them. There are shallow puddles of water beneath her feet. A castle into a steep, rocky mountain. Boy, good luck. We'll see here, guys, with my reading. Hi, Lady Blind Wolf. And hi, M. Pagan White. Good evening. A castle set into a steep, rocky mountain is in the distance behind her. The seeker feels mentally bound or imprisoned. The woman depicted in the card could represent blind justice without her sword or scales. Thus, there is a theme of injustice in the seeker's life, of being unfairly sentenced. It may indicate a mental self-imprisonment. There's a lot of, because we're talking about swords, there is a lot of thought behind this, as a result of feeling physically confined. The seeker feels stuck in a situation as if there's no way out, and it is a precarious situation that the seeker feels unjustly put in. Hi, Renee. I know, Dana. I'm telling you. Hi, Sarana. It hit home with me, too. It was hard. I needed to take a couple different breaks today, especially as I really dove into it in depth, because it really just pulls you down and kind of thinks, oh, yeah, I'm trapped. The seeker feels he or she has done nothing to deserve this. However, the seeker is not actually bound, but merely blind to his or her way out of the bindings. With strength and creativity, the seeker can be released. Take, for instance, the woman depicted on the card. She is blind to her situation. However, she could use the blades of the swords that surround her to cut through her bondage. Thus, while the seeker may feel bound or imprisoned by the circumstances, the seeker isn't actually bound or imprisoned. The imprisonment is a state of mind. Minor adjustments, sticking to the cards here, as symbolized by the use of blades surrounding this woman in red to cut herself free, or a shift in perspective, will reveal to the seeker that the imprisonment was only in the mind, not in actuality. So in a way, the prison we make is in our minds, right? Sometimes the things holding us back from freeing ourselves from our restraints is our own fear and doubt. Absolutely. Our fear of stepping forward, a fear of changing things. There's so many fears there that can kind of hold us in a position that we hate, that we don't want to be in, but that we're kind of too afraid to step forward to change it. And there's some great insights to some of these other cards that I pulled here too, guys. So, note also how the woman depicted in the card seems to have her back turned to the castle. There is a turning away from the seeker's support system. Remember that. A turning away of your support system. So there is support that you could seek out here, but you are purposefully denying that support. There's a whole bunch of reasons for that too. Sometimes it's our own ego. Sometimes it's I don't want to admit that I was wrong. Sometimes it's I just don't want to turn to them for help because I'm afraid that they'll think I'm weak. There's a lot of reasons for that turning away, but we are turning away from that support. The Eight of Swords suggests a false or inflated sense of victimhood. The seeker is so focused on feeling like the victim that he or she does not recognize the otherwise easy way out of the situation. Absolutely. All right, so definitely that's a good one. Hello, Holly. How are you? Never thought of her back being turned. Yep. Hi, Midnight Sky. And finally, we're going to end the reading stuff with the Modern Tarot by Michelle T. Love this book. Again, if you're just starting out, this is really a good book to start out with because it is truly like you're just sitting talking to your girlfriend about what the card means. This card seems like my entire life. I know, Saran, I hear you. The situation with my job, this kind of, because I was sitting in my job on the evening shift that I don't want to be in, really, I was like, oh, God, I'm just sitting right in this card. Okay, and she says, when the Eight of Swords arrives, you are so deeply stuck that you have given up any hope of fixing the situation. Or maybe you delayed fixing a situation until it swallowed you whole, and now you've lost hope. Either way, here you are, bound so loosely that you could totally escape, but you don't. Imprisoned by a half-assed fortress of swords, you could actually walk right out of, and blindfolded, but making no effort to pull the blindfold off your face. If you did allow yourself to see, you'd have to acknowledge that this miserable situation is at least partly your own doing. You have tremendous personal power, but for some reason you are choosing not to use it, or you have handed that power over to someone else. The reality is that you got yourself here, and only you can get yourself out. If you are waiting for a rescue, an apology, that was a big one for me. I'm like, oh boy, sometimes we wait, like, I'm not going to do this. And if they decide to apologize, maybe I'll do it. Well, we're hurting ourselves while we're waiting for someone to apologize and admit that they were wrong. We're doing the same. Sometimes we have to apologize first. It sucks. Or an about face from someone other than yourself. You're going to be stuck down here in gloomy Swordsville for a lot longer. At this point, it hardly matters who else was involved or what drama or circumstance got you here. The problem is, regardless of how you got here, you chose to stay here. It's now up to you to quit the job, end the friendship, file for divorce, offer an apology, begin to make amends, or stand up to your parents. However, the Eight of Swords is shaking down in your sphere, and it's time to claim your power and get on with life. Again, that's a good one because it's just your girlfriend saying, okay, shit or get off the pot. You got to figure it out. It's in your power to fix this if you want to fix it. Otherwise, I guess you're just going to sit there, aren't you? Which is so true. Let's see. What do we see? But she needs to apologize first for being a child, right? Yes, yes, yes. Procrastinator's card, for sure. Absolutely, guys. All right. So we're going to go over first some of the different cards that we are, that I pulled out that I think really depict this card in a different way or helped me to deepen my understanding of this card. And then we're going to go back to the before and after part of the card towards the end. Okay. Okay, so this first one is the Eight of Swords from the Vision Quest Tarot, which is a great deck. And here we have this hawk, and her feathers are kind of blowing up around her. And so she's here in this windstorm. And there's interference. There's interference from the wind. And instead of using the wind to fly away, what is she doing? She's squawking about it, right? She's sitting in the wind saying, I can't believe there's all this wind. Damn it. Why is there all this wind? Hi, Dahlia. Thank you. I'm glad you made it. So sometimes that is our go-to, is to sit in the situation and say, damn this situation. I hate it. I hate that I'm in this damn situation. And I can't believe that I'm in this. And you know what? Get up and walk away, right? We have the ability to change it. But instead, we're going to sit here and bitch about it for a long time sometimes before we realize, you know what? We can kind of change this. And maybe instead of using all this energy bitching about what is, we can stand up, use the wind to push us forward into something else, something different. This card is, by the way, I did want to mention that I have been in communication with Eleanor Piper. She is the creator of my soul deck, the New Era Elements Tarot. And if you haven't seen on the Facebook page, I actually got a hold of her. Oh, because I wanted to ask her about her other deck. She has another deck. Hi, Cypress. That she has created but has never really published publicly. That is the Harry Potter Tarot. And it is amazing. I have to say, I stumbled across some of the images, and so I emailed her. And she actually watched my unboxing of the New Era Elements and really liked it. And she has given me an offer. It started out, she was telling me that she had produced some decks like on what do you call it? On a site where she gave them the images, you know, it was print to, you know, she only printed them on like make playing cards, whatever the hell that's called. And my brain just is not working because I've been working at it all day. So she has some decks right now, and she's willing to sell me one of the decks. Print to order. Thank you. Oh, I don't know why I couldn't think of that damn word. But she had done that, and so she has some leftover decks still that she hasn't given away or sold or anything, and so she's going to let me buy one of the decks. So then when I brought it up, a couple people, like in some of the chats that I have going, said, hey, you know, any way we could get our hands on it. And she has now offered us a special deal on the Harry Potter deck. And so if you look in the Facebook group, you'll see it's in the U.S., it's $50 plus $7 shipping. So she's offered us a $50. It's $5 off what she normally charges to do like a print to order kind of thing. And then if you're out of the U.S., I just have to let her know that, and then we can figure out the shipping. So if you're interested in that deck, take a look. I have put all the images on my Pinterest, and I linked that on the Facebook page. It's on the top, right on the top. I made it an announcement. So go take a look at it. And if you want to order that deck, we have until next Friday, which is the 6th of September. And I'm going to ask that, it depends on how many we get. Shauna, there's a link to my Pinterest right in there that will link you to that specific board so you can see all the cards, but it depends on how many we get. If we only get like 10 people or so, I'll probably have you put the money in my Pinterest, and then we'll just pay her one big lump sum. The Facebook page should be listed underneath here, and it is. If you look in the down bar where the information part is, it says if you're a subscriber and would like to join our private Facebook group, and then there's a link there. It's right there. Just tell us what your Facebook or your YouTube name is and that you are subscribed. So anyway, it depends on how many. We'll let you know, and I'll give you more information, but she's such a sweet woman, and I just love her. And so when I got back to her, she was like, absolutely, let me know how many and we'll figure it out. So if you want a deck, we're going to have the money in by September 6th that morning. So really, I'd rather keep it to September 5th. But if you get paid every other week and your payday happens to be the 6th, then that's okay. Hi, Trevor. An aura. Uh-oh, I have an aura. Is that a good aura, I hope? So anyways, I just wanted to mention that because one of the cards that I wanted to show, even though I don't have the deck yet, is her Harry Potter card for the 8 of Swords, which is the Flying Keys. See all the flying keys there? And it is interference. Oh, good. I like having a good aura. That's good. Never mind, I shouldn't say that in case he watches once in a great while. My mentor, when I moved to Rochester, used to tell me all the time, ugh, you have such a bad aura today. And I was always like, I think it's you. I don't think you know how to read auras. Yay, an opportunity to get a job. That's good, Trevor. Good. So anyway, what this says is, and by the way, her book for this is awesome. Oh, that's the other thing she did for me is she said U.S. Games made her pare down her book for the New Era Elements Tarot a lot. Like she had to take a lot out of it. So she gave me a PDF of the original book, which was a lot more information. And I'm like, thank you. Because you guys know that's my soul deck, right? So she's such a sweetheart. And the Harry Potter one too, so. All right. The 8s are under the auspices of Mercury and share some of its quicksilvery mental acuity. The card offers sudden insights, but also shares a sense of nervousness and of mental hypersensitivity. If the inventors of the tarot had known about attention deficit disorder, ADD, this card would be it. We are so hyper, we simply cannot stay on one task. Instead, we are pulled in multiple directions, and in the end, very little gets accomplished. In some cases, the distractions do not come from within, but we seem to be surrounded by people who feel destined to offer unsolicited advice and opinions, slowing us down and meddling in our affairs. If this card had one message, it would be to slow down, to evaluate what needs to get done, and to refuse to get sidetracked from our plans. If ever there was a task that played with the concept of interference, it was the trap in the Philosopher's Stone that had Harry pick one key out of a mad, enchanted swarm of flying keys to open the door in the dungeons. It required ignoring distractions and staying the course to reach the one item that was actually relevant. So here we have a smaller swarm of 8 keys fly up one of the staircases in the castle to remind us of the meaning of that task. Hi, Lene. Okay. So, does that card seem different to you guys? I've been waiting for somebody to say, I feel called the fuck out. Jack, I have felt that all day. All day I have felt that. So, understand that with the Eight of Swords, there are 2 different meanings depending on what kind of deck you're looking at. This deck and this deck and a couple others that I have, although I don't think I pulled out any others that were this. I don't think. These are actually based on Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. Thoth, however you say it. Zach comes on here sometimes and tells me it's Thoth. It's Thoth. It's actually based on Thoth. So, it's a little bit different. It's very similar. This card is. But it's a little bit different. It's the interference aspect of it instead of the Rider-Waite card where it is much more about you are putting yourself into a prison. Okay? So understand if you see a card that is just a little off, that you're like, okay, this kind of fits, but it's a little bit different, understand that it's probably Thoth based. Okay? So I just wanted to put that out there so you have the ability at least to recognize. You may not choose to read with Thoth decks. You may choose to only read with Rider-Waite to start out with. But if you find a deck that you thought was Rider-Waite and you start pulling cards and you think, this is a little different, that might be why. And I usually can still read with those decks. It's just a little off. It's just a little different. And usually you can tell based on where justice and strength are. The Thoth deck switches the 8 and the 11. So justice ends up being adjustment a lot of times, which is still the justice balance. And it's the number 8. And that's a Thoth deck. Okay, so hopefully that clears it up. We're going to go back to Rider-Waite now. I just wanted to throw that out there so, you know, if you ran into it, you would be able to recognize, okay? Okay, next. We're back to Rider-Waite, okay? It's still up to you how you respond to the situation. Exactly, Stephen. That's what I mean. In this case, it's very similar, and I can see it in a very similar light. Okay, so this is the Fountain Tarot. And I must say, this is one of my favorite cards in the Fountain Tarot. Every time I pull this deck out, I'm like, oh, I really like this card. And then for some reason, I don't use it for a lot of readings. It's, I think part of it is it's a cold deck. And I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but it's, the colorings are cold. It's very blues and lights, grays and whites and that kind of stuff. And I like that, but it depends on what season it is for one thing. Usually wintertime, I will pull out cold decks. But the other thing is some of them just, to me, they don't resonate. Some of them really do, and some of them really don't. So It's a sappy tarot deck, right? So this Eight of Swords, though, to me, this is great. And this is, so I put, a woman finds herself in a truly difficult situation that she imagines to be impossible. There is a way out, but she has closed her eyes. Hold on. Oh, come on. There it is. She has closed her eyes. Lost in mental bondage, concerns, and regrets. The Eight of Swords reminds you that life brings obstacles and adversity. But if you open your eyes, you recognize that your worst enemy is fear. The blindfold is transparent, and the swords are illusionary. So the swords in this, if you see, you can see through the swords a little bit. And the blindfold is actually just makeup. So all she has to do is open her eyes. And the swords aren't even real. They're a creation that her mind has put there. They're not real. So she can get out. It just seems like her mental bondage has put her in this situation that she thinks there's no way out of this. And there is. I really like that the swords here are see-through. They're just her mental picture of what she has created here. They are not, impossible to get out of. Like. When focus shifts to reality, it is time to acknowledge it, feel the pain, show courage, and move on. You must move on. Okay. Austin says hi. Hi, my Austin. I love you, little peanut. This makes me want to review my tarot notes, right? Keeping herself there. Yes. I can relate to this card. Me too, Trevor. Me too. Yes. We can get a close-up. Hold on. Beautiful, right? The anguish on her face that she just won't open her eyes to see that she could just walk through. Hi, Mimi. How are you? You're welcome. Okay, here's another different card. This is the Line Strider Tarot. This is a neat one, too. The Eight of Swords traditionally shows a woman tied up, blindfolded, and surrounded by a circle of swords. This woman's bonds, I want it to be a little less literal in my version, she says. Hi, Tina. I used the image of a loose knot to indicate that sense of confusion or bondage that the querent might feel, and a blindfold to invoke the idea that the querent either can't or won't see their way to freedom. Like the Devil card, the Eight of Swords often indicates self-imposed issues. In a reading, this card may appear when you feel completely stuck in a situation. You may see no way out, but the cards are telling you that yes, you can find a way to freedom. Remember that this is a swords card, the suit that represents the mind and intellectual power. This card often comes up when the querent is stuck in a quagmire of negative thinking. So how many times do we do that to ourselves? Hi, Jenny. That negative, there's no way I can get out of this. I'm stuck. There's nothing I can do. I'm just stuck here. And woe is me. Again, it kind of brings me back to the hawk squawking about the wind. Instead of using that wind to fly away, sometimes we're going to sit in it. And we're going to say, God, this just sucks. I just hate this. I'm so stuck. This just, I don't even know what to do. I'm just, there's nothing. I can do nothing. I'm in this situation. I'm stuck. And we're not even looking for ways out. We know that we can. It might be uncomfortable to move forward for a little bit, but we still can. We still can do it. Remember the way you think about things with power. Focus on what you can do instead of what you can't. Look at things from a new angle. Allow yourself to see possibilities. Carefully consider any court cards that come up in a reading with the Eight of Swords. So here we go. This is kind of a comparison. If this card comes up and you're doing a reading and there's court cards, can it be can it be the way someone sees someone else? Hold on. I'm about to answer that, Tina. Usually it's not. Usually it's about our own constraints. If it comes up with court cards, why is every other page upside down? What the hell? That can indicate who the other people in the situation that are either part of the problem or could be allies in the solution. So yes, sometimes there can be other people contributing to it, but it is ideally, there is always something. When this card comes up, there's always something that we can do. There's always something that we're avoiding. Usually it's an uncomfortableness of moving forward. It's sometimes it's more comfortable just to sit where we are. Instead of moving forward. Afro-Satanism. Okay. The Hanged Man. So if you get the Hanged Man also, when this comes up in a reading, may indicate that you are delaying an inevitable decision, even though it's causing you suffering, to delay it. The Two of Swords, if Two of Swords comes up, it indicates that you are just refusing to face the truth about something. Okay? This card most often speaks specifically to denial. Are you in denial about something in your personal or work life? Are you afraid to deal with a health issue and have chosen to just ignore it and hope for the best? Sometimes I do that. Are your finances in a bad place, but you have chosen to ignore the problem rather than sort it out? Are you in a negative romantic or personal relationship that you know is bad for you, but you just can't muster the strength to cut it off? Be careful. You may be making things worse for yourself in the long run. Generally, the Eight of Swords is about taking responsibility for your own life. Now I lost it. And facing the facts, no matter how unpleasant. Sometimes this card may indicate that someone is preventing you from seeing the facts clearly. So once in a while, here's that someone else. Once in a while, normally it's you. But once in a while, there's someone else that is making you see the facts differently. Someone else is influencing you the way that you're seeing the situation. And you have to kind of step back and go, okay, wait a second. Is that really how I feel? Is that something? Afro-Satanism. Okay, well, you're back. I don't know what if that was meant as a truly, I don't know what you were trying to say, I guess. If you're not a troll, then sorry, but explain what that has to do with what we're talking about. Okay, this card may often show up in an abusive personal or work relationship. This card may indicate a state of hopelessness. You may feel like there is nothing you can do to improve your situation. If this card shows up with other swords in the readings, pay special attention to health issues. So if this card comes up and the Two of Swords comes up, and the Five of Swords comes up. Look at health. You can tell your querent to look at their health. Is there something coming up in their health that they are choosing to ignore, that they're not dealing with? That may be the situation. Okay. This one, I thought this one was a cute one. This is the Vanessa Tarot. Talk about putting yourself in a situation, right? That's definitely putting yourself into a bad situation. The eights relate to activities leading to fulfillment of one's objectives. Here it is a knife throwing act, mental state of helplessness, believing in self-created hindrances, building imaginary hurdles, or at least overestimating their impact. Right? That is a strange situation. So this is just a cute card. The Vanessa Tarot is always something. I like this tarot because it kind of exaggerates things. The Eight of Swords and the Guardian Tarot. Hold on, I see it. It kind of exaggerates things in a cartoonish fashion. And I kind of like that, you know, for reading. Sometimes it allows us to have fun with it a little bit, you know, even though this is a crappy situation. But it allows us to have fun with it a little. Put my glasses back on. Oh yeah, we've talked about this one before, Hexam. When we did the first tarot study, we always used this deck, but I don't mind bringing it out again. So here we have the Tree family, and everybody looks very depressed. But it is of their own making, for sure. They're only focused on what's right in front of them. Here they have this beautiful child that is, you know, right there in front of them, and their backs are to each other. Yes, 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 yes. Backs are to each other, and they're just focused on not even each other, not their child, just this, whatever this situation is that's directly in front of them. They're not getting help from anybody. They're not, you know, hey, excuse me, Luna. They're not, you know, looking to their child to make them feel better. They are just focused on directly in front of them. For sure. Okay, a couple more here. This one, I always think this one is really good. Yeah, almost like they're looking at their phones. That's a good one. So this one is from the Book of Shadows Tarot. This one happens to be the So Below. There's two decks in that, two versions of the deck, the As Above and So Below. This one is the So Below. And I always thought this was a really cute look at this card. Come on. Come on, focus. There we go. So the Fae are all over the place. You know, here we are. We've been studying. And the Fae are all over the place. Question, do you have any Egyptian oracle decks you would recommend, or tarot, but usually work with more with oracle? Egyptian oracle decks, I happen to love my, where is it? It's usually right in front. I've got way too many now, so it's not right in front. My, what is that? The, ow. It's right here. Isis, the Isis Oracle. I love that one. Love it, love it, love it. So here, and then we're going to get to the last three are really my favorite. Oh, yeah, the last three are really my favorites. We're almost there, guys. You're doing good. This woman is in a complex situation. She has gathered all the facts, or so she thinks. She has devised complicated hypotheses and plans, yet they all seem to lead nowhere. Or even worse, they make a bad situation even more impossible. Not knowing how to solve a problem or diffuse a negative situation. Everything you've attempted seems to make things worse. Right? And so the Fae are just coming in. Boy, those Fae, they will take advantage of a situation when you are kind of lost and a little confused and down on yourself and stuff. They will take advantage of that and move stuff around and get into stuff and generally not make things easier on purpose just because they're little shits. Okay, now I have to tell you, this one is the one that I had to take a break after this one. It is a very good card. This whole deck. This is the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. And it's a modernized deck, which usually I'm like, oh yeah, that's really nice, but I don't read with it very much. This one is going to be one that maybe they're just trying to make us laugh. That could be. This one is going to be one that I'm definitely going to end up reading with because it's just so good. So here we go. Here is the Eight of Swords. The limitations placed upon the young woman here are less defined. She stands at the window of her dreary room in a high-rise block, eyes closed in despair. Her shoulders sag and her hair escapes from its bun uncombed. She still wears her dressing gown, too exhausted or defeated to dress. The murky sky mirrors her mood, and she can't see the birds that represent freedom or the green spaces that represent expansiveness. Despite all her efforts, the dog is howling and her child is wailing while an unseen companion balances. The Fae. The Fae are involved again. I totally missed that. Look at. There's the Fae on the playpen here. On the playpen, attempting to instill calm. The bare room is dismal. Only the wallpaper's yellow sword design and the child's toys offer brighter colors. But see, outside is very bright. Look at her face. So I have to say, as a mother, whew, haven't we all had this kind of day that we're just like, oh my God, just let me die today. I don't think I can do this another day. And it's just, and sometimes it seems to go on forever. So this was what she does. I love this, this creator. What she does is, what's her name? Poppy Palin. What she does is, good, is every card has a story to it, so she tells a story. So, and the story for this card is just amazing. It really puts you right in there. So here we go. Ready? The story. So this is the woman talking, the mother talking. I never thought I'd end up like this, and now there's no way out. Every day, it's the same lonely grind of struggling to look after my baby and the dog the best I can. Of course, I love them both, but nobody told me that being a poor single mother would be so hard. I feel so responsible for them that my own well-being suffers, and I can't unwind or be myself. I'm not even sure who I am anymore. My mind churns away as my routine tasks drag on in an endless loop, and I drop into bed exhausted but unable to sleep. I'd ask for support from my neighbors, but with all the crying and barking in here, they'd probably be rude, so I just keep to myself, ashamed of how careworn and incapable I appear. I wish someone would whisk me away from this monotonous drudgery and take care of me for a change. Won't they see me up here and rescue me? No, because I'm just a smudged, wan face in the window in this gloomy tower. I can't even call out, as who'd hear me up here? I've put myself in this cell, and now I must deal with it. But how? I can't even think straight, let alone make a plan. I just know I can't go on like this. I'm going mental. Oh, please, won't somebody help me? That's an extreme for sure. For sure. Whereas the Seven of Swords involve activities that could warrant being behind bars, right? Isn't that like, oh my goodness? Yep, absolutely. The 8 warns of a mental jail, patrolled by our own thought police. Here we are a prisoner of negative, repetitive ideas that prevent us from finding a way out. We aren't serving a sentence in solitary confinement, but we believe we are. And that amounts to the same thing. As the Buddha repeatedly said, it's our mind that creates this world. Hi, Ash. And our perception of what's possible limits us more effectively than any chain. Oh, for sure, our mind. The 2 of Blades, the 2 of Swords, depicts someone refusing to see things as they are. And the 8 shows what happens when we continue to ignore problems, letting them build up until they are completely overwhelming. The issues that hem us in can be serious or simply everyday concerns allowed to assume epic proportions. This card reminds us that even seemingly impossible situations will eventually yield an exit if approached from another angle. It could be that we already have choices but are unable or unwilling to pick an option in case it is wrong. When we are stuck, we could be better off doing something, anything, rather than prevaricating by shaking off the fetters of confusion. We shift the energy, allowing something else to manifest. Any lifeline offered may not seem ideal, but we could see where it leads us. If we don't like it, then at least we're free to change our course again. Chances are that the cavalry isn't coming to save us, and we need to make the best of what's offered instead. Even if we find ourselves in the same situation for a while longer, we can, and here's the key. This is so important, guys. This is something that I think all the time. I think, there's always something we can do, and this is it. You ready? Even if we think we totally are stuck and we can't do anything, there's always something. Ready? Even if we find ourselves in the same situation for a while longer, we can shift our perspective and our attitude, thereby having a different experience. We can always change our own perspective and our attitude on how the situation is. If we accept our current condition with the best grace we can, while knowing that this too shall pass, then we are more likely to affect change than if we are banging on the bars. This isn't apathetic acquiescence, but similar to the hanging on, letting go of the hanged man. When we stop using all our energy to keep a situation at bay, bemoaning the things that are wrong, then we can direct our intent towards better ends. Are we clearly stating our needs and asking for what we want, or is there room for interpretation, misinterpretation? We always have the keys to our own freedom, but sometimes we forget how to use them. So what do we got? Therefore, change the future and outcome. Yes, you are in control of your life. That is my life right now, right? Oh, I hear you, Gypsy. Hi, honey. I didn't see you come in. Miss you, girl. The best grace we can. That's right. That card feels very triggering. Been there for sure. Oh, me too. I am too. I'm in love with that card. Now, I'll tell you, this has to do, and I know I always bring up Eckhart Tolle. I love him though. And it has to do with how we choose how we react to a situation. Good example, stuck in the house or kitchen, go back to the old ways when that was the woman's world. Our foremothers have created magic to influence their lives, even when they weren't aware of it. Yes, absolutely. Eckhart Tolle teaches about living in the present moment. And what he talks about is that when we are in any kind of pain, when we feel stuck, when we are in pain, when we get angry, it all comes down to the same thing. It's because we are not living in the present moment. We are not accepting that this is what is. We have to look at the life that we have right this second and say, what is my attitude towards this thing? The only way that I'm going to feel anger or pain or frustration is if I'm not accepting this moment for what it is. Can I change it? No. Then why aren't I accepting? Why aren't I just saying, you know what, this is the moment? How can I learn to love this moment? What can I do? Can I change my attitude? Can I say, you know what? Okay. I have to work the evening shift. It totally sucks. But you know what? Instead of sitting and bemoaning it and saying, I hate this shift and blah, 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 and going on and on, I can say, you know what? All right, fuck it. I have to work the evening shift. It sucks. But I'm going to have a good day. What can I do to have a good day? I'm going to bring a book that I haven't gotten a chance to read. I'm going to pull out a couple decks that I really, like a lot. I'm going to greet each patient with a big smile and see how many patients I can get to say, oh, thank you so much. I had such a better experience this time than I did last time. That makes me feel really good. Upside, you make money. Accept what is, unless you can change it. If you can change it and you need to change that situation, then change it up. And if you can't, then we need to at least change our attitude about this situation, right? Because either way, at least if we change our attitude about it, we're going to have a different experience. No matter what, that experience will not be the same if we change our attitude about it. Okay? Pretty good, right? All right, we're almost done. 2 more. Attitude is a choice. Martial arts saying attitude is everything. Literally what I tell myself daily now. I can't leave Florida yet, so I'm going to accept it and figure out how to deal with it. That's right. Wish I understood it as a kid, right? Good card to remind someone that they are the magician of their life. Yes. That's what I'm struggling with right now. One thing after another. Car messed up. Hunter broke his arm. Bills are racking up. So stressful. But I just take every day one step at a time. I know you do, Ash. And you have so much to deal with, honey. And I know, boy, sometimes it's overwhelming. And sometimes, you know what? You need a little time to sit and shit. And be like, okay, this does suck. Nobody says you can't have your moments of, you know what? Screw this. This really sucks. But you're really good at this. You're really good at saying, okay, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just get done what needs to get done. And we're going to move on. And I'm going to try to change my outlook on it. Absolutely. All right. 2 more cards. And then we will go to the before and after. This is, I love you so much, Ash. I miss you and your mama. This is the Fantastical Creatures Tarot. The greatest god of the Egyptian pantheon was Ra, or Amun-Ra, the sun deity. However, at night, when Ra rode his sunboat through the underworld, he was in danger from Apep, a serpent demon and an eternal enemy of light. The serpent holds the glowing sun in his mouth, causing eclipses. On this card, Apep is seen entwined about the swords of karma. The serpent Apep symbolizes pure divine energy. And with its central sword, it represents the power of healing. The meaning here is you have control of a tricky situation now, but you could quickly lose control. Discretion and diplomacy are needed. You may feel unable to leave an unpleasant situation. APEP is a nope, nope, rope. I wouldn't want him on a card, right? I love how he causes eclipses because he has the glowing sun in his mouth. Right? Just a really interesting card. Yes, absolutely. This is one of the cards that, or one of the decks that I pull out towards Samhain, because it's really, it doesn't seem like a dark deck, but it's a really interesting kind of creepy deck in some ways. So I always pull that out. Okay, and one more story card. Are you ready for one more story card? This is the Goliath. The more I have this deck, the more I'm liking it, the more I get into it. I haven't had it for very long, a week or so, 2 weeks maybe. And the more I am studying the cards, the more I like it. I have to say, what the hell did I say? Oh, this morning, I was swearing at the creator because he has, the book has these teeny tiny letterings, and I'm like, oh my God. I literally have to like take a picture of it so I can blow it up, because even with my glasses on, I'm like, what the hell does that say? Jerk. What does he think? We're all young and can read that tiny damn lettering? All right. It is a fascinating deck. Absolutely. So here we go. Here is the Eight of Swords. And I love the story that goes along with this, guys, is a really good one. So here we go. The keywords here are feeling restricted in movement, locked down, tied up, trapped, isolation, vulnerability, bound by a situation or person, feeling powerlessness, being fenced in by obstructions, limitations, poor circumstances, persecution by others, not knowing which way to turn, needing guidance and clarity, not knowing what's going on, screaming but no one is hearing your pain and frustration, waiting for things to change, avoiding ownership of how you got to this point. The key word here in this card is feelings, yet sword energy is about thinking. Remember, thoughts are key indicators of emotion. We are looking down on a polar bear underneath the ice. His sad eyes are looking up at us through the card, saying, help me, get me out of here. That was the intention of this card, and it's very clear what is happening. The Eight of Swords. Yeah, this is the Goliath, yes. The Eight of Swords are preventing him from coming back up to the surface, almost creating a claustrophobic feeling of being entirely trapped in a situation. And no one likes to feel trapped and confined. Have you ever felt completely locked in a situation that you really don't want to be in anymore, and you are looking for an exit strategy but cannot seem to find one? Well, this is what the Eight of Swords is all about. This card is also connected to someone surrendering his or her inner power to another person or entity that is binding them and manipulating them into feeling this way. But this is a choice to do so. Stop playing the victim and start taking back your own power. Believe it or not, you have options. We often have self-imposed boundaries that we create for ourselves and then place onto others. Stop the struggle and focus on releasing yourself by seeing things from a different point of view. I don't know how to spell Goliath. Oh, that's okay, Marge. Right now, you are too fixated on the problem to be able to see the solution. Stop isolating yourself and take off this metaphysical blindfold you have created in order to know and see the truth that you are far more powerful than you think. No one got you here except yourself. Don't look for a helping hand from someone else. Look inwards and give yourself the helping hand that you need. Remember that the polar bear can swim underwater. Find another break in the ice and push on up through it. This card came up in a draw I did for myself yesterday. Really, Brian? It's a very powerful card to see that polar bear in the ice, right? What a brilliant way to portray that trapped feeling. It kind of reminds me of, I was saying I had to ask for what it was called, the devil's snare in Harry Potter, you know, where the more you struggle with the situation, the more trapped you are. Sometimes you just have to relax and say, okay, where am I? What is it that I'm doing? Is there some way that I can move forward? And once you feel like you have a little room, that devil's snare starts loosening. And then there's, you know, you often will find a way out. Or you need a crap ton of sun, right? Exactly. Sometimes you just need some light on the situation too to say, hey. So many people struggling with anxiety. Oh, for sure. So here we have just a keyword. Stuck, but her feet aren't tied. Getting out will hurt, but it will be worth the pain. So keep walking forward. Don't give up. Don't give up your power to anyone else. If you get this, let me hold on one second. I forgot to bring up. Hold on. I'm coming. Hope it's this. Nope. Of course not, because that would be too easy. Come on. Oh, really? I didn't put it there? Okay, hang on. I just want to bring up the new format so I know I'm not missing anything, because I'm still not used to the format. Events. Previous. Where do I get previous events? There we go. Okay, here we go. You okay? We're good? Where the hell? All right, come on. It's right here. I'm right here with it. Son of a bitch. What am I doing? No, not show map. No. Can I see what I want to see, damn it? No, apparently I cannot. I know I posted it in the event, right? What the format was going to be. Am I retarded? Did I do that? Okay, I don't know where the format is. I swear I posted it, but I guess I didn't. All right. Anyways, I give up. I'll try to remember. It's funny to think of all that power that the polar bear has, and it's trapped by ice. Its power is being held back by something as simple as ice. I know, right? Can't see the forest for the trees. Oh, yes. Before and after the cards in various categories, then pull next week's. Yes. All right, good. So I'm not forgetting anything else. Good, good, good. All right, hi, Karen. Bye, Karen. All right, so in readings, real quick, I'm just going to go through. Thank you, Stephen, for giving me these, because that's one thing I didn't have to look up. Where did you get that gorgeous Wheel of the Year? I got it at a metaphysical shop, I think, in North Carolina, but I have heard that it's on Amazon if you look up Wheel of the Year tapestry. That's okay. All right, so career. If you get this card in a career reading, let me bring it back up here. You could be feeling held back at work, either through your own doubts and thoughts or through words and decisions of other people, longing to find a way out in a life-inhibiting situation. If you get it in a health reading, blockages are preventing further growth and healing. And don't forget, I said too, you could be ignoring a situation instead of dealing with it, right? A need to see and accept the consequences of your own thoughts and actions before you can make positive, life-affirming changes. In a relationship reading, feeling trapped and powerless in a relationship. The necessity of clear communication, needing to acknowledge your role in creating the situation and to recognize that your own thoughts and decisions will help you to create a solution. And in a general reading, this card symbolizes our tendency for self-sabotage. Oh, so much. So much so. We can block ourselves when there is no reason to do so. We must look within ourselves to find the way out. I have a native style alki drum too, but I saved that for journeying purposes. I love my, I have a horsehide one that I love. Okay, so the before. Shit, wait, let me find my before and after. The before is the yellow back. Okay, so here we go. Before this happens. So here the person who is trapping her leads her into the Circle of Swords here. Thank you, Fairy Wold. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Brat. I love that I could say hi, Brat, and it's not an insult. I love your name. The entity, yes. He is bringing her into the situation. So there could be a person bringing you into that situation. Now, after this happens... Oh, that's so cheating. All right, I don't like this one. I have to say, the after, I'm not happy with the after tarot. Yeah, that could be the shadow self bringing her in there. That's good. Because this looks like someone else is getting her out of these binds. Like she was so stuck, she couldn't do it herself. And we already have said several times now, there is no knight in shining armor coming to help you. You're going to have to figure out a way through this on your own. And so the fact that there's a different person here letting her out of that, I think that's... I'm not crazy about that one. What do you guys think? I can go with... I like the what you said there, M. Pagan, that this is... This could be her shadow self. But... Yeah... That doesn't for me either. We've said it 12 times tonight that you got to find your way out of this. There is a way out. That's a cop-out, boy, to me. That's not at all the meaning of the card. And then, so finally, we're going to look at behind. If this is the front of the situation, how does it look from behind? Higher self, maybe. That could be, if we think of it that way, Sarana, that's a little better at least. So what we're looking at is nothingness. See that the birds of prey, the carnivore birds kind of flying over, waiting for her to decide. Am I going to get myself out of here? Or am I going to sit here and allow myself to starve to death so these birds of prey can come down and pick off my dead carcass? And boy, they're circling, waiting to see what she does, right? We do have a choice here. The choice is move, do something, go forward, figure something out, try, or it's like how some people felt at the end of the Game of Thrones. Yep, absolutely. Or just sit there and do nothing and die in this situation, which, you know, doesn't always mean you're literally going to die. But if you allow yourself to be in that situation and you know that you can step forward and do something about it, then you're just going to wallow away in this situation and nothing is going to come and save you. Very good. All right. What do we think? Good study, good study. Am I missing something? Did I get everything? Are we ready to pull the card for next week? In the before, was she blindfolded when she was being led by her captor? Let's see. Yep. She was already blindfolded. A slap in the face. Good. Good, good, good. Took lots of notes. Steven, did I miss anything? He's so good. I don't know what I would do without you, Steven. I know it's late for you, but I'm like, oh, thank goodness he stayed up. Because you always keep me on track. Not yet. I'm not done. I think you did it all. Okay. Beautiful. Let's pick a card for next week so we know. I will make the event tonight so you can start posting whatever you want in there. We can look at, hi, Dad. We can look at the cards for next week. You can post cards in there that you want me to pull next week for next week's study. You can say what you think about it. You can go back into this one, the Eight of Swords event, and post some more if you find some new insights that you like. Okay, let's pull. Ooh, let's not drop the entire deck. Next week is the Empress. The Empress card. That nurturing energy. So we will be studying the Empress next week. I will make a new event. And next week we will go into the Empress. Yay! That sounds like so much more uplifting and bright. Hopefully I won't put myself into this depression feeling trapped. Right? Yay! We did a lot on the Empress. It might just be a Q&A, right? Next Tuesday's card is the Empress. Wonderful. Okay, so make sure you hit that like button for me because that will ensure that this video goes out to more people, the more likes that we get. Make sure that you click on if you want to be subscribed to my channel, click on the subscribe button, click the little bell if you want to be notified when we go live, which happens a lot. YouTube seems to be getting a little better with that notification. I know for a while it was like good luck. Sometimes you did, sometimes you didn't. But hopefully you will get a notification a little more. The Facebook group is listed now on the information down below. Okay, so if you'd like to be in a part of the Facebook group, all you have to do is say that you are subscribed and give us your YouTube name. Okay? So until next week, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me and many blessings. Have a good night.